Hey YouTube. So today I wanted to talk to you about how to measure canes, why some people might want shorter canes or longer canes, kind of what technique different heights tend to go best with. Now this is not meant to replace a qualified O&M instructor at all. If you do not have proper training, please go out and get proper training. But as you start to use your cane more and develop your own style and you experiment and you get in some weird circumstances, these are just kind of different things to think about. Now there are two kind of main types of way to use your cane. One is constant contact, which is where the cane tip does not leave the floor. A lot of people will use this when they're inside, when they're on kind of a more flat surface. It's easier, it's quieter than 2-point touch. 2-point touch is where as you step with your right foot, the cane taps to your left. As you step with your left foot, the cane taps to your right. And I don't say most canes, but a lot of canes were kind of more designed for 2-point touch. Now you can get the marshmallow tips, the roller tips, and those tend to go better with constant contact. But the way you would measure for kind of a more foldy cane or a cane designed more for 2-point touch, you'd measure kind of where your breastbone's right in between there, just go straight down. And that's because they're made to where your cane tip will touch. That's where you're going to step the next time you step. So if there's a hole or a divot, that should tell you. Constant contact, you can still do constant contact definitely with a cane measured that way. Some people like their canes a bit longer for constant contact. For example, a lot of people who use the NFB, National Federation of the Blind canes, they measure from the bottom of their nose down. The reason for that is some people that walk really fast who use constant contact, they benefit from the extra time to make up their mind, to change directions. It just gives them more response time. There isn't really a right or a wrong. Now obviously, like if your cane is above your head or something like that, that's a bit ridiculous. But as far as if you wherever you choose to measure, kind of from like your sternum and your breastbone to under your nose, that's completely fine. Some people go under their chin, again, completely fine. You really just don't want to go any shorter than that lower measurement because of the way that it's designed to work with 2-point touch and comfort, and you need time to be able to change the course of your action, the course of your movement. So I would highly suggest that you kind of just play around with different canes if you can. I know that a lot of people can't afford to do that. They're not somewhere that has a lot of different types of canes. In that case, I would try to get in touch with a mobility instructor and see if they could could bring some different canes for you to play around with, and so you can decide which canes you like better. You can get canes made out of graphite or aluminum, out of different materials. You can also get different tips. You can get a marshmallow tip, you can get a rolly tip, you could get a more pencil point style of tip. That's the pencil style of tip I personally find is better with 2-point touch, but you might really like it. Also, a lot of it might depend on where are you walking. Are you walking somewhere with a cracky sidewalk where 2-point touch works better for that? Or are you mainly walking inside where you're doing constant contact? Maybe you want a rolly tip. I would highly suggest playing around, figuring it out, trying different materials. Maybe you really like your folding cane because of the ease of being able to store it. The only type of cane I personally would caution against, and I know a lot of people love them, is the NFB telescopic cane. And this, my canes in England, I left it there because I thought I was going back there, but that's a whole nother story. I do have canes here. I have my NFB cane and my folding cane. I don't want y'all to think I'm like just walking around with no cane or anything, but it folds out like a telescope would. And the issue that I found with it is I was crossing the street and I hit a pothole, and the whole thing collapsed up under me in the middle of a street crossing. So I personally do not feel safe using them anymore. I still have mine, as I just said, as a spare, as a backup, to let people play with. So that's really the only type of cane, like I said, I'd kind of caution against. Just beware. No, if you're not crossing streets and you're walking inside always, it might be, fine. If you do have one and you have room like in a backpack, you might want to fold it up for a spare. I like when I'm going long distances or things like that, I like to have a spare cane, even though I have a dog. Even when I'm walking with a cane, I like to have a spare cane, just because I've had some weird situations where canes are broken. I had one cane get slammed in a car door. Snapped in two. It was an NFB cane. It snapped out kind of down to the bottom. They taper. So it's just something to think about. So, yeah, if there is anything that you would like me to talk about or you have any questions about, feel free to email me at blynd1@gmail.com, and thanks for watching.